Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good to be in your companies once again. This is your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. Really excited about the opportunity to share with you. As always, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in this day. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Come, let us exalt his name together. Very pleasant good evening to all of you that are following, those of you that are watching, those of you that are part of the broadcast. Really good to have you. Like and share. Like and share. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want you to go over there to the YouTube channel. It's Edlin Scott, and subscribe to the channel. Certainly, I thank you so much for your prayer and your support. Thank you so much, those of you that keep us going, those of you that encourage, those of you that pray for us, those of you that support, whatever way that you support, really thank God so much for you. This is an absolutely beautiful year. This is an absolutely beautiful year. And I believe that this is the year, God spoke it into my spirit, for big things. This is the year for big things. Now, if someone says to you, you can have whatever you want, and you only choose a small portion, then that's on you. But everything is at your disposal. And so God is saying, this is the year for big things. And so I want to challenge you, let us all think outside the box this year, because I believe that God is up to some great, great things. Well, what are we going to be talking about on the broadcast tonight? I want you to hang with me. Give me about 30 minutes of your time, and we're going to get right into it. But give me about 30 minutes of your time. What are the qualities? What are the qualities of successful leadership? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. The qualities of successful leadership. This is Phenomenal Leadership. We're saying on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock. And then I do another preaching session on Saturday morning called Morning Glory at 8 a.m. And then Sunday morning, we have an in-person service at Voice of Deliverance Temple. And we start there at 7 o'clock in the morning. West Palm Beach, we are headed your way. West Palm Beach, I am headed your way. On March 17th, one service only at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. The United Overcomers Church there in Riviera Beach, Florida, they are celebrating their annual Women in White, Men in Black service. I was at the service last year. Absolute blessing. There was a word from the Lord, and we had an absolutely beautiful time. This year, I'm headed back to Florida, West Palm Beach. Those of you in the South Florida area that can make the service, I want you to be there in the house. I am taking with me some olive oil. I'm carrying some olive oil for the service because I believe that God wants to do something great. The women, after the crucifixion, after the burial of Jesus Christ, as they made up in their mind to go back to the tomb, they were concerned who will roll the stone away. The stone is too big for us women. Is there somebody that's going to be there to roll the stone away? But we're not going to allow the stone to hinder us from going to the tomb. We're going to go there, and we're going to believe God that somebody is going to roll the stone away. And so I want you to be in the service. I want you to be in the service coming up on the 17th of March there in Palm Beach. The topic is who will roll the stone away. I'm taking some olive oil. I'm going to give them out until they're done because I want you to be blessed. I don't want you to feel that there's a stone that's between you and your breakthrough. There's a stone between you and your deliverance. Be in the house, West Palm Beach, Florida, on the 17th of March. Then on the 28th of March, the 28th of March and the 29th. In fact, that's the Thursday before Good Friday, which is the 28th, the Thursday before Good Friday. It's the 28th, and the 29th is Good Friday. I'm going to be in 2 nights of service in Doctors Creek, Long Island. Voice of Deliverance, Doctors Creek, Long Island. I'm going to be in the house for 2 services. Thursday, that's the day before Good Friday, and Good Friday night, we're going to be in 2 nights of services there in Doctors Creek, Long Island. Is there a word from the Lord? Yes, there is a word from the Lord. I am trying to see whether or not I can get some more olive oil so that I can also bring some to Long Island while I'm there in Long Island. So I'm really looking forward to it. Listen, pray for me that God will do what he promised to do. But I want to also bring some olive oil with me to Long Island. And we want to be a blessing to the saints. So I'm looking forward to it, Judy. Judy, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Palm Beach. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Palm Beach as I am there on the 17th. All right. I want to very briefly talk about this. I want to very briefly talk about, hopefully we get to finish it on Thursday night. But the qualities of successful leadership. The qualities of successful leadership. Now, there's all kind of leadership. There are people that are definitely leaders. There are people that call themselves leaders. There are people that want to be leaders, and those who think that they are leaders. But what are the qualities? How do I identify when I am dealing with a pool of so many leaders? How do I identify? How do I look? How do I inspect the fruits? How do I identify a good leader or a successful leader? Becoming a leader is a journey of a continuous learning and growth. The journey of a leader is a continuous learning and growing. A leader often go through a series of learning and growing. I believe that when things stop growing, then it starts dying. And so a leader that's not growing or learning is not a good place for the leader to be. So the journey of leadership is a continuous learning and growth. It is a process. Leadership is a process. Leadership is not someone take it and put it on your shoulders, or take a badge and put it across your chest, boom, and that's it. Once you get this badge, you are the leader. Once I tell them you're in charge, you are the leader. Someone can put you in the door, but without the qualities, the length of time you stay in the door hinges on the qualities that you embodies. The process is about embracing challenges. How do I identify a good leader? A good leader is someone who embraces challenges, not create challenges. Embrace challenges. Leaders don't make things difficult. Leaders, in fact, simplify things. So, the qualities of a good leader, you can see them embracing challenges. When a challenge is presented to a leader don't go the next way. A leader puts himself between you and the challenge. You know, like what David did? When David got there, he met everybody, disgruntled everyone, upset because they said, Lord, we can't beat Goliath. We can't do nothing with Goliath. So everybody was afraid. But being the leader that David was, he put himself between Goliath and the people. And the end result of that, we know how it went. David brought down the giant when everybody else thought he couldn't come down. And I preached this on Sunday night. Number one, David brought him down with something that should not have been able to kill a giant. A stone, not a rock. Stone is the little pebble. And they couldn't have been big because David put them in his bag on the side, his little purse, where he put money in. So it wasn't big. It was impossible for something that size to bring down a giant. Then David brought down the giant with a tool that wasn't even an accurate tool. But that's what leaders does. Leaders embrace challenges. Leaders, a good leader is someone that seeks feedback. A leader doesn't just say, and don't hear. A leader is someone that says and they listen. Leaders invite feedback. A growing leader, a successful leader is someone that welcomes feedback. So they embrace challenge, they seek feedback, and they foster connection. A good leader is someone that's not afraid of connecting with you. A leader is someone that's not afraid to come and sit beside you and put their arms around you. A leader is not afraid to be connected to you. Judy, a good leader is not afraid to connect with you. Oh, I have to know you for 5 years. You have to be coming to my church for another 5. You have to be up to date with your tithes. You have to be a regular. And you know, all of those red tape. Before connection. But a leader embraces challenges, seeks feedback, and fosters connection. You know, a leader gives you their hand for the handshake before they wait for you to send your hand out. A leader cultivates understanding. If there is no understanding in the room, when a leader stands up, a leader will bring understanding to everything that's going on in the room. David's words to the men that was on the battlefield was so convincing, they took him to the king. Because he brought an understanding. He told them, hey, this can be done. And he brought comfort to the room. That's what leadership should do. Leadership should bring comfort to the chaos that's around us. So, Pastor, one may ask, do I have what it takes to be a great leader? Do I have? And that's the question that I want you to ask yourself tonight. Do you have what it takes to be a great leader? Do you have at least these that I've just mentioned? Do you cultivate understanding, or you leave everybody confused? Do you foster connection? Do you try to get close to people? No, I'm going to be here. I'm going to preach. I'm going to just tell you what to do, but you stay there and I'll be over here. Do you embrace challenges? So do you have what it takes to be a great leader? Now, amidst the fact that you've got to be a good communicator, boy, if you are not a talker, most of the times you see leaders as the person that you're afraid of because they always look like someone who don't want to talk. They don't have that inviting kind of face to be like. Sometimes you want to do some things and when you find out you got to go talk to the leader, you say, boy, no, that's okay, never mind, because they do not look like someone that's approachable. But a leader is a communicator, must be a communicator. If you cannot communicate, you're going to struggle with leadership. If you cannot communicate, if you're not a good communicator, you're going to struggle with leadership. A good leader has to be very good at planning. You have to be very good at planning. You cannot be someone that shoots from a spontaneous person. Just thinking off the top of your head. You must have a plan. A leader is a plan, has a plan. A leader is a problem solver. That's why people want leaders in their life, People want leaders in their life to help them solve the problems. People don't want leaders in their life just to say, this is my friend. No, solve the problem. So, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be a good planner. You got to be a problem solver. And of course, a leader must be able to delegate. A leader is not a leader if a leader does everything by themselves. No, you're not a good leader. You will not be a successful leader if you do it all by yourself. Oh, I just can't wait on them. Oh, I just don't like how they're doing it. This thing, the next thing. You can't do it by yourself. Watch this now. In Genesis, the Bible says, and God said, let us make man. Let us. It is all about the team. It is all about the team. Now, you should not be able to separate the team. The team should be so cohesive and running so well engineered and well oiled that you cannot separate the team. You just know, boy, they did well. Was it the horn? No, the horn, the drums, the percussion instruments, the string instruments, the brass instruments, they all sounded well together. The team, it's all about the team. So, you must be able to delegate. And one of the greatest gifting a leader has is to be able to navigate through whatever comes up. I used to think that people who do talk show are the smartest people in the world. For the simple fact that I thought that because you're doing a talk show, they're throwing all kind of questions at you. Some things you know to expect, some things you don't know. And so I used to listen to talk shows and calling shows and seem like the person in charge of the show is able to answer all of the questions and do all of the stuff. Until I come to understand that it is not about knowing everything. It's about navigating all the challenges that will arise. When a ship is sailing, the navigator knows when to go straight ahead or when to go around. So a leader knows when to go straight ahead or when to navigate around some things. And so now when I listen to talk shows and different shows of that type or quality, I notice that it's a bunch of navigating. That sometimes the questions are not even answered. And as a leader, I've come to understand that you don't have to know everything. You just need to know someone who knows how to get it done and then employ that person into the equation. So, you got to be able to navigate. Now, I used to watch my pastor, and I still watch my pastor, Apostle Leon Wallace, one of the greatest leaders that I've had the opportunity to meet, experience, and glean from, right? No matter what problem came up, Bishop knew how to deal with it. And he always amazed me. He always amazed me. And that's why I got the impression that something special is inside of leaders, or they are made differently from everybody else, or they are made of different stuff than everybody else because of his way, how he dealt with stuff. Even if you look at Jesus, they say we got him now. We got him now. They caught the woman in the act of adultery, right? So they brought her to Jesus, and they said, we caught her. Not one of us saw her. We caught her in the act of adultery. Let's see what you're going to do now. And Jesus wrote on the ground. They were talking to him. He wrote on the ground and says, you without sin cast the first stone. Right? Now, he didn't condone her. But they were in no better position than she was, but they was making a big deal of what she was doing and ignoring what was going on in their life. And so, Apostle always used to I used to be so amazed. I knew that once I could get to him and I could relate his story, he definitely will have an answer. And so, I always felt like, boy, there was something, he had something going on with him. And a good leader sometimes gives the impression their gifting is like it's not real or it's kind of elusive. That you really can't put your finger on it, but you just know that they have whatever it takes. And so it makes you feel like there's something really special about them. And you may feel like, and I guess that's why some people would say, you are born to lead. No. Leaders are not born with these superhuman qualities. Leaders are not born with no superhuman qualities. They're not. They're not born with any superhuman qualities. Rather, they tend to intentionally, this is what leaders does. Leaders are not, apostle is not more special than any other person. He wasn't carved from any other tree that is only indigenous to a particular race of people or set of people. Now, it may give the impression that he was, but he's not. Right? But guess what leaders does? Leaders intentionally put themselves in situations where they can learn. Leaders do not avoid. Leaders do not avoid things. Leaders intentionally. When David gets there, David intentionally puts himself and says, I will go out and fight. Everyone was saying, don't fool with that giant. They said, no, you only mean me. I will go and fight. So a successful leader is the one that intentionally puts themselves in a position where they can learn. Because it's all about learning and growing. So they're not superhuman. They just put themselves in situations where they can learn, where they can adapt, and where they can grow. Where they can learn, where they can adapt, and where they can grow. Some people think just has to be right. In order for them to see their genius, everything has to be right in place. It's almost like pictures, I've seen people who took pictures and say, oh, this don't look like me. They take this picture bad. And so some things just got to be right for them to get it, for them to, I guess, look pretty or look like themselves. But successful leaders understand how to adapt and how to grow. A situation for developing this tendency and fortitude to motivate and to guide others. A successful leader understands that leading or moving people is important. And so you have to position yourself where you can learn, you can grow, you can adapt so that you can have what it takes to be able to motivate and guide others. Leadership is a process of self-development. Self-development. You're not going to be a good leader if you're not developing you. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot share what you do not have. If you do not know where to go, you just don't know where to go. On the weekend, I went to my brother's wedding in Toronto. On Saturday, I was at my brother's wedding in Toronto. And when I got to the airport, my phone didn't work. When I got off in Canada, my phone didn't work. And so I stayed at the airport for an hour and a half until I got my phone working. Once I got my phone working, then I knew my GPS would have been working and I could have gone where I needed to go. You cannot give what you do not have. If you do not have it, you cannot share it. And because my mom and my sister and my nieces were there, they relied on me to take them because they figure I can drive and if I know where I'm going, then everything gonna be all right. But it was my GPS. My GPS knew where I needed to go, so I had to follow that. So I had to wait for it. Finally, when I got the GPS working, it wasn't talking. It wasn't, so you had to watch the screen. And I played with that until I got it. Well, it was only talking through the headphone, but at least I was getting my directions. So you cannot share with people what you do not have. You cannot take people somewhere that you've never been or you don't know how to find it. You cannot lead them out of crisis if you don't know how. You've never faced crisis. You've avoided crisis. So you don't know how to help people get through crisis. Leadership is a process of self-development. If you're not prepared or if someone is not prepared to personally develop themselves, they can't help you. No one can teach you how to lead. No one can teach you how to lead. You better listen to me tonight. You don't go nowhere. Don't even move from where you are. Get up close to the screen so you can hear me. No one can teach you how to lead. No matter how many times you listen to Pastor Scott, let me tell you the attitude that you need to have if you want to learn. Because listening to me doesn't guarantee you that you're going to learn how to lead. No one can teach you how to lead. You need to be willing and able to learn how to lead. You ever hear them say you can take a horse to the well, but you can't make him drink? If you are not willing and able, position yourself to learn, you will not learn. You will watch me. I'm on 104 times a year. I'm on 104 times a year. But you still got to position yourself. You got to position yourself to want to hear, to want to learn, to want to do something. Mostly we learn from our experiences and the facing of adversities. The facing of adversities. If David did not face the lion and the bear, he would not have known that he can kill Goliath. Because he said, well, if I can kill the lion and the bear, I can do that with Goliath. If he had avoided that adversity, say, let him take the sheep. He would have, when he got there, he would have said, just like the other men, we ain't fighting Goliath. So you must be willing and able to learn. We learn from our experiences and adversities. All right? Stepping outside of our space where we can feel safe is the most powerfulest teacher that you can ever encounter. Stop trying to feel safe. Stop trying to feel safe. If you can only cook for 2 people, start cooking for 4. Step outside of your space. Step outside of it. You know, just try some stuff. Stop going the regular way. Go a different way. It may be a shorter way. We keep getting what we keep getting because we keep doing what we keep doing. And it doesn't get any simpler than that. All right, listen, I want you to join me on Thursday. What are we going to talk about? I want to throw at you at least eight qualities that a successful leader has. Successful leadership embodies one. Successful leadership is authentic. It's real. You gotta be real. You can't be faking. Successful leadership has a lot of curiosity. You gotta be curious. You gotta be curious if you want to go forward in life. You gotta be curious. Then, successful leaders analyze stuff. You know, I this morning I helped a lady out that a car broke down on the street. I stopped and I helped her. And so I got out of my car and I helped her push her car to the side of the street. And the problem was they changed a part without figuring out why it went bad. So she said, they just fixed this. And the same thing happened again. And if you don't analyze, before you make a move, a good leader analyze why it went wrong. So when you find out why it went wrong, then you're not going to replace it and put something else there for that to go wrong. So, be analytical. That's one of the qualities in a good leader. Be the ability to be adaptable. To be adaptable. Oh, I can't preach unless I see my 3 favorite people in church. Really? Be creative. Be creative. You can't inspire people if you don't be inspired. Or if you don't sound inspired. Looking at all of these, I may not even get to all of these on Wednesday, but listen, on Thursday, we can try and see what we can do. Comfort. 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 Be comfortable. Have empathy. And of course, resilience. Some people want to stay down, they stay down, but I said, I ain't getting up no more. But if you want me down, you have to do something to me to keep me down. But if you ain't holding me down, I getting up. So, successful leadership embodies a certain amount of qualities. How do I identify a successful leader? Because here's the thing. If you are, let's just say, if you are committing yourself to follow somebody, right? I want to follow the best person, the very best person that is at my disposal. If I'm trusting you to lead me, I need to be trusting the very best person possible. So how do I identify them in the crowd of all of those out there? How do I identify them? I was reading this book the other day, and the book said, one of the ways to identify a servant leader is when people treat them like a servant. How do they react? Oh, I'm the boss. I'm in charge. What? Who you talking to? No. Then you ain't a servant leader. A servant leader don't have a problem you calling me a servant. Jesus said, I came to seek and to save that which was lost. Jesus said, come, let me wash your feet. He was a servant. Jesus said when they was hungry, he said, hey, no, sit them down. Let me feed them. When they raise the children away, they say, go away, your little children. Don't fool you. He say, no, suffer the little children to come unto me and forbid them not. Zacchaeus, come down, come down. I'm coming by you to eat. I'm coming by your house to eat. Being a servant. Listen, join me on Thursday. We're going to go into, I'm going to see if I can hit all 8 of those qualities that identifies for you that you are in the presence of a successful leader. You are in the presence. You are surrounded by successful leadership. Thank you so very much for joining me. Don't forget, coming to Palm Beach, Judy. I'm coming to Palm Beach. Looking forward to seeing you in Palm Beach on the 17th. Those of you in Long Island, Sims, Long Island, Burnt Ground, Long Island, Millis, Long Island, all the way up to Deadman Ski, Long Island, Seymour's, Long Island, all of the surrounding areas. Doctors Creek is where we want to be on the 28th and 29th. 2 nights of service. Thursday, the day before Good Friday, and Good Friday night, we're going to be in 2 nights of service there in Doctors Creek, Long Island. I'm trying my best to bring some olive oil with me. I want to give out some oil to as many persons as I can. I'm definitely bringing some to Palm Beach. I want to also bring some to Long Island. God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast tonight. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott, and this has been another episode of Phenomenal Leadership. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.